Celtic Speed Scottish Mini Cooper Cup 2011.
Welcome to Kirkiston Racing Circuit. We're here in Ireland for the Celtic Speed Scottish Mini Cooper Cup. Now, I caught up with some of the drivers after qualifying, and here's what they had to say. Murray, 5th place in qualifying there. You must be quite pleased with that.
Fantastic, yeah. It's the best qualifying I've had all year. These away rounds sort of give you the chance to catch up with the top runners. So, yeah, really pleased with it.
And have you been here before?
I've not. No, it's the first time. Luckily, a few of the quicker boys, Kenny Brewster, Adam Leach and Stephen Brewster pulled me along yesterday. Once you get to know the circuit, I guess you just got to go as quick as you can. And no, I seem to been taking it quite well. So.
And how do you think the nerves are going to cope when you're sitting there in the holding area just before going out?
I don't really want to talk about that, to be honest. But it's I don't know. It's nervous enough. I'm a fairly nervous guy when it gets to the grid at not kill when I'm sitting 9th or 10th. But I mean, when you're sitting 5th, when you've got the sleighs in front of you, it can be a wee bit nerve-wracking, I guess.
Well, good luck. We'll keep an eye on you.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Thank you. Stephen, I just wanted a quick chat before you head out for race 1. You've qualified pretty well here, but you've had all sorts of engine trouble, haven't you?
Yeah, qualifying, I was quite happy. I mean, I wasn't expecting much more, but yesterday at testing, new engine in and a gearbox. So I've not had the best luck so far, so I hope that turns around today.
So how much testing did you actually get yesterday?
To be honest, I got quite a lot because it's a long day testing. So I got 4 laps at the start, and then that's when the gearbox went, new gearbox, and then went back out for probably got another half hour in the afternoon or whatever. But all the guys just managed to pound round, do laps, and then my engine went. So. Yeah.
And did you have an engine with you?
No, we didn't. We got one came across from Edinburgh, which isn't mine.
So you're borrowing an engine for these 2 races.
So yeah.
Okay.
Has to be done, yeah.
And tell me about the track. How did you find that to learn? Was it quite easy?
Yeah, it's quite a simple track to learn, I think, but it's still actually quite hard to be fast at, just keeping your speed up and whatnot. So maybe struggling to go fast, but I know what's coming, but I just can't be as fast as I want to be around it. So.
Well, good luck today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Vic Covey Jr. leads the championship with David Slay in 2nd and his brother Tim in 3rd. Chris Smiley, the local boy here, 4th. Kyle Reid 5th and Alan Walk in 6th place. The newcomers are led by Tim Slay with Kyle Reid 2nd from Michael Faulkner, then Adam Leach 4th, Steve Clark 5th and Kenny McLeod in 6th. The Ladies' Cup led by Fiona Wallace with Elaine Marshall 2nd, Emma Bruce in 3rd, then Louise Flitton, Steph McMurdo and Gemma Dreeland completing the top 6. Vic Covey Jr. lines up on pole once again with Chris Smiley alongside. On row 2 it's Ken Brewster and David Slay, with row 3 featuring Murray Muir and Adam Leach. The 4th row it's Tim Slay in position 7, then Steve Brewster on his outside. Row 5 Alan Waugh and Hamish Brandon, then it's Fiona Wallace and Michael Faulkner with Emma Bruce completing the grid here at Kirkiston. The 12th race of the season for the Celtic Speed Scottish Mini Cooper Cup, and the grid looking in fine fettle as they come to take the 5-second ball, but getting ready to race. Vic Covey Jr. on pole, the black and orange car, and he's outside the red and white of local man Chris Smiley. 5-second board there as the cars complete the grid. Red lights on, off they go. Great start by Chris Smiley from the outside, not too bad from Vic Covey Jr. on pole, but I think he would have liked to have been better, but he seems to be sluggish through the gears, and now he's coming under pressure from Murray Muir up the inside. Murray Muir's passed, David Slay is passed already. Tim Slay in white looking at the tight inside line as they go up towards Colonial Corner for the first time, but it's Chris Smiley leading. David Slay now up into 2nd place. Then Adam Leach on the outside bounces over the grass in blue and green. Tim Slay up into 3rd ahead of Adam. Then behind them it's Vic Covey Jr. in car number 7, the championship leader, who will get an extra 2 points for pole position, double points on each away round for the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup. But a great start by Chris Smiley, who lives a little way up the coast here in Northern Ireland. I'm sure he is well pleased that he's got a local round, and he'll be looking to impress his many friends, and I'm sure some fans that he's made this weekend. They're going down the back straight towards the hairpin for the first time. And Adam Leach up into third. Vic Covey Jr. piles his way down the inside. Oh, inadvertent contact there with David Slay, but he makes up the position. Slay loses out just a little bit. Up into fourth position now goes Vic Covey Jr. Good recovery. We're on board with David Slay. Here we go with that traditional sleigh ride down the home straight. So into the little left-hand kink at the end of the pit road, and Vic Covey Jr. David Slay is going to have to try and get back on terms with him. Here comes Slay down into Colonial. Right-hander immediately followed by left-hander. Don't think he's in a position to get back past into fourth position at the moment. But Chris Smiley making hay while the sun shines here at Kirkiston in lead place. This is the view from Vic Covey Jr., the championship. And there goes David Slay through. A little tap as well on the way through. Almost returning the compliment. And that allows Murray Muir through. Also through is Steve Brewster. And Kenny Brewster's through as well. Vic Covey Jr. really got hung out to dry there. Well, he had a little tap on David Slay's car as he went through. And Vic, a little shake of the head there, I think, as the tap back on him really was very, very costly indeed. We'll see whether Vic can recover from that. But Vic, top of the table at the moment. As we mentioned, 4 points coming into this race, as Murray Muir gets challenged by Steve Brewster. Vic Covey, top of the championship by, well, 6 points coming into this race, if you allow for the pole position as well. But a very impressive run of 5 consecutive podia coming into this race. And 3 race wins, won the opening 2 races of the year, and he's the driver with the most pole positions. But this is the view from Murray Muir's car, the Edinburgh-based driver. There he is, the pink and black car, being hounded by Vic Covey Jr. Vic, who's got back in front of Kenny Brewster. There in the number 8 car is Hamish Brandon. Down behind them, Fiona Wallace leads the Ladies' Cup from Emma Bruce. Alan Walk having some engine issues this weekend, so a bit of a shame for him, but hopefully they'll get him out for race 2. So coming up the back straight, pretty narrow pit area here, coming up towards the hairpin once again, and Chris Smiley getting away in the lead of this one, with in second position Tim Slay. Third position is Adam Leach. Great to see Adam challenging for a top 3 position, but it's all going off here. Vic Covey Jr. again having a great race with Kenny Brewster, as in front of him Stephen Brewster in yellow dices with Murray Muir. So back down past the pit lane, there is David Slay still running well in fourth position, but the lead trio, for my money, starting to get away. Tim Slay looking comfortable in second position, Adam Leach in third. Slay turns in now out of Colonial Corner. From here they have a short straight down to Fisherman's Bend, and Covey now trying to get past Murray Muir side by side as they go into Fisherman's, then down towards the chicane. Let's see whether Vic's got the line sorted out. He comes into the first part of the chicane, he gets across, grabs the position. Great driving from the championship leader, and that allows Kenny Brewster to come up and play with Murray Muir as well. Down behind them, Michael Falconer and Hamish Brandon. Falconer just behind Brandon at the moment, putting a challenge on. So here they come then. Let's have a look, see whether... Is it Falconer about to make a move here? As they... Under braking. No, we're looking at Murray Muir having a go. There is Falconer, goes through on the inside of Hamish Brandon. Falconer's through. Murray Muir having a great dice as well in front with Kenny Brewster. David Slay goes through in third position. Then it's Steve Brewster in yellow, followed by Vic Covey Jr., who doesn't seem to be making too much progress up the order at the moment. He's really embroiled in that battle with Murray Muir and Kenny Brewster. He's got a couple of lengths actually over them two at the moment, but you can see he's a lot further behind Steve Brewster in the green machine. So Covey, who's shared the race wins this year with David Slay, Tim Slay and Chris Smiley, the Ulsterman having had 2 wins, including one in the reversed grid race at the last round at Knock Hill. We've got 4 more events of the championship to go when the cars return to Scotland. This is the second away day of the 2011 season. Another one, of course, at Cadwell Park, which was again, like this weekend, a 2 race event. Vic Covey taking 2 second places, but David Slay taking the wins there, and that really counts for David, because the double points, I think, could be the key to the championship. The away form could be the key to it on double points, but at the moment Chris Smiley coming under pressure from Tim Slay, so we've got a battle for the lead. Slay looks to the outside line, Adam Leach is there as well. Let's see what Tim Slay is going to do. See the backdrop of the residential housing in the background, and it's one of the few active circuits in the UK that survives with local people nearby. As Tim Slay ties down the inside, fantastic manoeuvre from Tim Slay, and look at that, Adam Leach bounces through as well. Leach read that real well and followed through. He's side by side with Tim Slay, tags him. Slay gets in sideways, can he hang on to it? He goes into a drift, but Adam Leach leads. Adam Leach leads the Celtic Speed Scottish Mini Cooper Cup round 11 here at Kirkeston. This is what happened. We're on board with Tim Slay, and watch how opportune this manoeuvre was from Slay. Out front, it's the local man, Chris Smiley, qualified on pole. Slay goes to the outside. Smiley thinks that's where he's going. Comes across almost too late. Clean racing between the two of them. A clean manoeuvre from Slay. Maybe a little bit of contact there. You heard a bang on the back of the car. Now down into the chicane. Look what happens. Slay gets the lightest of tags from Adam Leach. You've got to say it's probably a bit of inexperience from Adam, the 21-year-old from Aberdeen. But he got into lead position. There he is in the lead. Chris Smiley second, David Slay now third. Tim Slay is down to 5th place. I wonder if the car's picked up some damage. He's now chasing Steve Brewster in yellow. Down behind them is Vic Covey Jr. But Adam Leach it is that leads this race. He's not had a win before. He's not had a podium before, Adam Leach.
With so much racing going on in the world, you'd have to be a four-headed monster to keep up with it all. Luckily, we have that. Join Peter Keane, Bill Wood, Errol Tucker, and their guest driver analyst each week for an opinionated look at the news coming out of the racing world. Remember, it's GoRacingTV.com for all your racing and video needs.
This is Gravian, the man who is 7th in the championship, didn't take the round at Cadwell Park, had a couple of non-finishes in our second round at Knock Hill, and now finds himself catching the front drivers. This is absolutely typical of the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup. You get to see drivers really getting to grips with the cars, getting to grips with the championship, and here getting to grips with the new circuit. Adam Leach leads, Chris Smiley in second position, looking for a home win. Third place is David Slay. Now time perhaps to think about the championship. David Slay is 3 cars ahead of Vic Covey Jr., which is going to be 6 points. So by my reckoning, that will tie David Slay and Vic Covey Jr. in terms of championship positions. Slay has had 3 race wins this year, as has Vic Covey Jr. As we look at Smiley challenging for the lead again. Down the home straight, David Slay wants a piece of the action as well, and we go on board with him. Chris Smiley at the moment shadowing Adam Leach line for line through the left-hander at Debtor's Dip. Now down towards Colonial Corner, bit of straight here. Smiley comes out wide. He can afford to take the proper racing line. He's not under too much pressure from Slay at the moment. Turns in. Now that wider line in could give him more momentum out of the corner. There's not really anywhere to put the car there as they go through the second part of Colonial and head down towards Fisherman's Bend here. And in actual fact, Chris Smiley now coming under pressure from David Slay in third position. These 3 drivers giving us a great race. And coming up to play now as well is Steve Brewster in 4th position, the yellow car. Brewster coming through. Then it's a wee way back, Vic Covey Jr., who does seem a little bit out of sorts again. I'm wondering, and what's happened? Yeah, Tim Slay's dropped down the order, isn't he? I think if you look in the background, the white car of Tim Slay now being passed, has now been passed by Hamish Brandon. So I'm wondering if Tim picked up some damage, and also wondering if Vic Covey Jr.'s car has picked up. Remember, he was fastest in qualifying. But Chris Smiley still continues to hound the race leader. It's a four-way battle for first position. There is Covey. It looks like a big gap, but when you get the camera right behind them, it doesn't look as big as we see it now. David Slay will be keeping his eyes on his mirrors. This is not good news for Slay, because he'll want to just be in attack mode here. He won't want to have to defend from Stephen Brewster. Down into Colonial again, and out of that little complex at the end of the main straight they come, and Chris Smiley coming under pressure now from David Slade. This is great news for Adam Leach. Leach with a train of 3 cars behind him. This in some respects is going to take the pressure off the youngster from Aberdeen, who comes into the chicane once again. Then he's just got to head down the back straight. Terrific run for him. He's in lead position. It'll be fantastic to see him added to the list of race winners in the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup. David Slay there coming offline and looking tighter as they come down towards the hairpin. He's being shadowed in the yellow car, Steve Brewster. Brewster knows that if Slay can find his way up the inside of Chris Smiley, that he'll be able to follow through. Now, it didn't quite work there, and in fact Brewster taking a slightly tighter line into the hairpin. Covey still in 5th position. 3 laps remaining here. You can probably see from the pit boards they come down into Debtor's Dip once again, and Adam Leach could well be heading for his first ever win here. Adam down into Colonial again. A little bit of a car and a half, or maybe 2 length breathing space over Chris Smiley, who desperately wants a home win to add to the reverse grid race wins that he's had so far this year. 1 race his last year in his first part season of Scottish Mini Cooper Cup racing. David Slay in 3rd position, upholding family honours. Then down behind him, it's Stephen Brewster. Brewster looking menacing at the moment. We'll see whether he can perhaps have a look. That's Tim Slay, the back marker coming into play. So Tim Slay moves over to the inside of the circuit. Well, he gets the flag, but he knows exactly what to do, does Tim. Very well aware of the race protocols. Pulls out of the way, and Adam Leach. Now tell what's happening to Brewster. Steve Brewster goes off. Now, did he outbrake himself? Was it brake failure or what there? But he clouts the barrier. He is out of the race. Disappointment for Stephen Brewster, and that's probably good news for David Slade. But look, here comes Chris Smiley. He's going to take the outside line at Debtor's Dip, and if he can hang on to that, he'll have the inside line into Colonial, and David Slay wants a bit of the action as well. Slay, who no longer has to defend from Stephen Brewster, is through, and so too is Chris Smiley into the lead. And you have to feel for Adam Leach, who drops down into 3rd position. I'm wondering if the back marker just played into Adam Leach's mind a wee bit, but look at the gap that he's dropped back. This puts now up a position into 4th place Vic Covey Jr. This is a good damage limitation on Vic's championship, as David Slay makes a slight error going over the dirt there. Down the back straight the cars go, and what an entertaining race. Adam Leach, I remind you, still hasn't had a podium. So long as he stays where he is, it's going to be a superb result for Adam. And he quitted himself well when in lead position, and indeed taking the lead. But David Slay at the moment now the chaser in 2nd position. And it's the Ulsterman, Chris Smiley, who leads this one. There we go, on to the last lap here. Tim Slay rejoins the circuit. I'm sure he's not going to get involved in any shenanigans. He knows that he's down in 11th position at the moment. Wondering if he had a bit of bodywork rubbing or something like that. And rejoins the circuit. 11th position means that Tim Slay is out of the main championship points. He will score the points in the Newcomers Cup, but for this race, possibly may well even lose 4th position in the championship. Actually, no, looking at the points table, I think that Chris Smiley is too far behind to take 3rd in the championship at this stage. So Smiley coming up then upon Tim Slay. These two battling for 3rd in the championship, and I think, as I said, that Slay's going to hang on to it again. He sticks to the inside line. Good protocol from him. Yellow flag being waved. That in respect of the stricken car of Stephen Brewster. But David Slay there in 2nd position. Can't do anything about Chris Smiley, who goes around the hairpin for the last time. Adam Leach is going to take his first podium, but ahead of him it's a 3rd win of the season for Chris Smiley, and his first win in the normal race from the front of the grid, the outside pole. He converts into a win from David Slade. Adam Leach. Vic Covey Jr. crosses the line in fourth. The white car you saw going through was Tim Slade, finishing 2 laps down in 11th position. Chris Smiley takes the win in round 12 of the championship from David Slade, with Adam Leach in third place, his first podium and fastest lap as well. Congratulations, Adam. Fourth place goes to Vic Covey Jr., the championship leader coming into that race. Then Ken Brewster, and in sixth place Murray Muir. Seventh was Hamish Brandon from Michael Faulkner. Fiona Wallace ninth from Emma Bruce, and Tim Slade in 11th.
Displaying that winner's cap there, congratulations.
Yeah, no, it was a hard race the whole way through. Lucky enough we were in the front row, so we got a wee bit of gap at the start there to give us a bit of breathing space at the start, but there's a bit of dozing here and there, so luckily we had nothing to do with it. We get through cleanly, and that's another good bit of points for us, because we've had enough bad luck this year without having another DNF or anything like that, so luckily enough had a good race there.
And what were you thinking when you dropped back for a little while there? Because obviously you were leading at the start, leading at the end, but you weren't there all the way through. I
know, I just thought I would bide my time, and hopefully somebody would make a mistake and I would get past somewhere, you know, which he did down in the hairpin there, so thankfully enough I got through.
Well, top 8 reversed for the next one. Top 8 reversed, so that's going to be hard work.
Yeah, it will be hard work, because it's hard to pass right here, because it's such a straight stack. It's hard to make a move anywhere, but hopefully we can maybe get a top 3 or something just to keep the points going.
Well, congratulations on a win today.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
David, congratulations on second place there, but you had to work pretty hard for that, especially at the start.
I certainly did. Yeah, we got off to an okay start there. I found myself actually putting the brake pedal on, trying to have them and staying behind these guys, not try to do something daft and go to the outside and end up on the grass at the first corner. So I kind of had to just play it a bit safe there. Managed to keep third place there. Got onto this one in the last corner of the track there, and God almighty, I don't know where Vic came through, but we went like a bat out of hell right through the side of me, took me off, put me in the grass. I was down to 6th. Like, oh God, no, I can't believe I'm going to have to fight my way back through this. As it turns out, anyway, like I managed to get a few places back. Like Tim had a bit of a disaster with Adam Leach and Chris Smiley at the front there, and managed to get myself back up to second place in the end.
You must be very pleased with it. It looked like a very, very considered drive when you were out there.
Yeah, I think I just kind of had to try and play it safe and make sure I actually grabbed the points here rather than try to do anything stupid, you know. We had 12 laps there. I thought I'll just wait until the later laps of the race and try and make it stick then. As it happens, Chris, I kind of dropped a wee bit off in there in the last couple of laps there and just didn't really feel I had, you know, what would take without a massive lunge there, and thought it was maybe more sensible just to take the second place as it was.
Well, it's top 8 that are reversed for the next race, and that's going to make your work pretty hard.
That's certainly going to make things very difficult, particularly here where everyone's really quick. You know, it's not like Knock Hill where you get a kind of 4 or 5 cars which are, you know, considerably faster, or a good couple of tenths anyway faster. Here it just seems to be everyone's like right on it.
Well,
it's going to be hard going.
Good luck.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Adam, congratulations, your first podium, but oh my goodness, so close to first win.
I know, I really thought I was going to hang on, and then I just got a bad run coming out of the chicane, and Smiley was on the outside of me, just cut back and had nowhere to go, and then David followed him through, so I'm happy with a third though, to be honest.
Absolutely, I mean that was an absolutely epic race, but you must have been just, come on, check a flag!
One more lap, and was like, oh God, I was a bit annoyed at the end, but hey, you can't be too unhappy with a third, especially from 6th.
Absolutely, I was going to say, coming up from 6th place, it's going to do your confidence a world of good going to race 2, isn't it?
Yeah, I was quite quick in testing yesterday, and then I just had a bit of a shocker with qualifying, so I was kind of expecting to go a little bit further up, but did it in the race, I'm not too bothered.
Well, I believe it's top 8 reversed, so that's going to put you top 8 reversed, yeah.
5th, so do it again, hopefully.
Well, good luck.
Do the plan. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Club, an amateur racer. Here at GoRacingTV, we salute you. And we want to give you all the tools and info to compete with the best. Find out how to do it all from your own garage by watching our Club Racer and Autocrosser shows. GoRacingTV.com, supplying all your video racing needs.
I'm joined here by Vic Covey, who's the series coordinator for the Celtic Speed Scottish Mini Cooper Cup. Now, we're here in Ireland again. It's been a couple of years since we're here. Is it good to be back?
It's great to be back, and particularly under the circumstances, because as you know, we weren't due to be here. This Saturday we should have been at Donington, but unfortunately Donington, as you know, have cancelled quite a few meetings, and we were subject to one of those cancellations. And I have to say, the 500 Club of Ireland really jumped to the challenge of finding a slot for us, having us over, helping put the deal together, and really the guys are having a brilliant time. So we've not been here for 2 years. Hopefully it's not another 2 before we come back.
Well, I was going to say, speaking to some of the drivers, they really are enjoying it, and they've had a lot of testing as well, with some engine problem.
We had quite a few. We had 2 engine problems that manifested themselves yesterday. And fortunately, as usual with the minis, we got, people jumped to the challenge, and we got 2 engines sent over on the ferry at midnight last night. They were working very early this morning when they arrived here, and we got both cars up and running. And it says much about our championship that people are prepared to muck in and get their hands dirty with the thing.
Absolutely, and the first race today was probably one of the best mini races we've seen in a long, long time. It's incredibly close here. Obviously at Knockhill there's sort of 3 or 4, maybe 5 cars that tend to be in the leading pack, and then a wee gap, but here it's just not the case.
Well, the circuit's different, and that throws up some differences. I think what you're finding now with the season is the 4 front runners, Vic Jr., David Slay, Smiley and Tim Slay. They've now been caught by the Brewsters, Adam Leach and Murray Muir, and they were very much in the mix in the first race. In fact, I thought Adam Leach was going to win the race, and that would have been a thrill as well.
Wouldn't it?
It absolutely would have been. But it was a terrific race, and nice to see Chris win on home soil.
Now, I think that's maybe David sneaked into the championship lead right at this moment, but who's your tip for the end of the season?
Well, I think there's still a long way to go, and I think this championship is going to be won by the person who actually doesn't have the misfortune of having a DNF, because I think a DNF for any of these front runners is going to be really costly.
Absolutely. Well, the season so far has been a huge success, and I'm sure it will continue to be so. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Mikey, you had a great race 1 there, but I want to talk to you about race 2. You're starting on pole.
Yes, it was very unexpected, I have to say. The lads came and told me, and I was like, okay, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I had a cracking race 1, made up 4 places, and it's put me on pole, which is brilliant. It's got to be a first time for everything. So we'll see how it goes, yeah.
Well, you've not started from pole before, as you just said there. Is it going to make a difference to your nerves?
Yeah, I'm actually shaking inside, to be honest with you. So yeah, my nerves are a bit tentative at the moment, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, it's got to be part of racing, doesn't it?
Absolutely, that's it. And like I said, it's the first time for everything, and yeah, pretty nervous. I'm shaking, to be honest with you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Here's the grid then for round 13 of the Celtic Speed Scottish Mini Cooper Cup 2011, and pole position goes to Michael Falconer with Hamish Brandon alongside, then Murray Muir and Kenny Brewster on row 2, third row Vic Covey Jr. and Adam Leach. Row 4, David Slay and Chris Smiley, then it's Fiona Wallace and Emma Bruce making it an all-lady row 5, Tim Slay and Steve Brewster on row 6. Completing the grid is Alan Walk. So the drivers that make up the last few rows coming into shot here at Kirkiston and ready for round 13. I do hope it's not going to be unlucky for any drivers. Our second and final away day of the season, and everybody ready. Red and white car on the outside of the front row, as it was in race 1, but this time it's Hamish Brandon in the Panda car, and Michael Falconer, first time on pole position for him. And this will be a great experience for him, and a brilliant experience for Hamish Brandon, who gets away real well from the outside of the front row. Brandon leads as they go down into Leicester Stick for the first time. It's close and off. Vic Covey Jr.'s off. They go towards the tyres. Bang! Into the tyre barrier. 3 cars. Murray Muir, the black and pink car. Number 2, Michael Falconer from the outside of the front row. Here's the view. The sleigh ride from David Slay. Falconer's in front. Murray Muir in front of us to the left. Both get tagged by Michael Falconer. That was a pure racing accident. I don't think you could apportion blame there at all. If anything, I'd say it's the sort of thing you get that often happens on a reverse grid. Here we go with Michael Falconer, who just tags Murray Muir there. And look at that, over the tyre barrier does its job, but unfortunately a couple of the cars clearing it. Now whether we're going to get a red flag or not remains to be seen, because we've got Kenny Brewster challenging for the lead. Brewster's through into the lead. Down into second place is Hamish Brandon. He's being challenged by Adam Leach. Leach now looking for second position. Brandon in the red and white Panda car fights him off, holds on to second position. Great racing by those two. Brandon lifts the wheel of the curve. You can see how determined he is to hang on to second. But in front, it's Kenny Brewster that leads. I love the reverse grids. I don't like the accidents when they happen, but it's great to see different drivers at the head of the field. And here they come now, down the back straight. Yellow flags. The drivers are going to have to be mindful of that. And now, are there some drivers passing here? Chris Smiley down the inside in car 22. Now, I'm not suggesting he was passing under yellows, but the officials are going to be keeping a very close eye on all of the cars. Waved yellows here. So, well, the drivers that went off on the, I was going to say the first corner, but they didn't reach the first corner. The drivers that went off at the start being attended to as Tim Slay goes down the inside. Now, Tim Slay, did he pass there at Debtor's Dip under yellows? Well, we're going to have to leave that to the officials to sort out. But a possibility there. I'll tell you what, being an official is the worst, most difficult job in motor racing, having to call that. The drivers, of course, are gunning for position. If you back off, you could lose a position too easily. But out front, Kenny Brewster, it is that leads this one from Chris Smiley. Adam Leach is in line for a podium again. This is cracking stuff from Adam Leach. So look at Kenny Brewster getting a little bit ragged there, but brilliant to see him at the front of the field in the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup as we go on board with Chris Smiley. Smiley then down the back of the pits. This is the back straightaway heading down wide line here. You can see just how well Chris Smiley is working the circuit here. Down into the hairpin goes Smiley, and now back onto the home straight. Nothing doing for him there. We'll see what he can do as they go up across the line. Got this left-hand kink where you can make a move, maybe go to the outside line. If you can hang in there, as we saw Chris Smiley do in race 1 passing Adam Leach, then you can get the inside line for Colonial, which is where they're turning in now. Very clearly a green flag at the end of the straight as they go into Colonial Corner. This is the second part, then it's down to the right-hander at Fisherman's, and I'll tell you what, now look at Chris Smiley having a right good look there at Kenny Brewster in the lead, and Adam Leach is coming up to play in third place. Leach is putting pressure on Smiley. Then it's Tim Slay in fourth position. Following Tim Slay, still running well, is Hamish Brandon in fifth place, followed by David Slay. This is going to be, well, not the way that David Slay wanted to win the chat. You heard, now I'll tell you what, there's almost prophetic words from Vic Covey Senior saying the driver who didn't get a DNF would be the one to win the championship. And what's happened, that Vic Covey Jr. has now got a DNF. He's out of the race after that start line, or starting incident, wasn't actually on the start line itself. But he now has a DNF that's going to drop him down the table as we look at David Slay nipping past Hamish Brandon. So Hamish certainly enjoying his racing at the front of the field. Still waved yellow, as you can see. Rescue vehicle in the background. The news we're getting is that the drivers concerned are okay, but obviously the cars are in a prone position. The drivers need to be taken away to safety, which is why we've got the waved yellow flags at that part of the track. But still leading is Ken Brewster. Now I would say normally that that would impede the race lead, would impede the field from overtaking, but Chris Smiley, we've seen him on the green flag part of the circuit to be really challenging hard like he's doing here, and closes up to within half a car's length of Kenny Brewster, the race leader. So it's Brewster, Smiley, then Leach, followed by Tim Slay. His brother David Slay is behind him. Sixth position is Hamish Brandon. Hamish having a terrific race so far in the top 6. On board for one of our famed sleigh rides then. And let's see whether Tim Slay can make a move here and jump up into third place. Down the inside he goes, through on the inside. Tim Slay down on the inside of Adam Leach into third position. On for a podium now is Tim Slay. Cracking stuff then from Tim, but he's been repassed. Adam Leach, well, he really has got the pace of the championship front runners this weekend. Past the wave yellow flags again. It's still Ken Brewster leading from Chris Smiley, and you can see the battle for third is dropping them away at the moment. David Slay trying to close in on them, then Hamish Brandon. Hamish not losing any time on the top 5 either, which is terrific to see. Out of Colonial Bend they go. This is the battle for third place, and Adam Leach, having had his first ever taste of the podium, wants to hang on to this one with Tim Slay right behind him again. So cracking stuff from all of the guys and girls that are out here so far. Kenny Brewster still hangs on. You just get the feeling though that the homeboy fancies a home double here. Chris Smiley down the back straight, heading towards the hairpin when they'll turn back onto the main straightaway here. Third position still held at the moment by Adam Leach, but here comes Tim Slay down the inside. Slay read that well. Good racing as well from Adam Leach, who clearly, so if he hadn't have seen him or hadn't have been aware of him, would have perhaps taken him off. But now they're side by side along the home straight, and let's have a look to see whether Tim Slay can hang on. No, Adam Leach has got him back as they go into the yellow flag zone. Adam Leach back into third position, side by side as they go down into Colonial. And it's great stuff from Adam Leach, who hangs on. This is a cracking scrap between those two cars for third position, and Adam Leach hangs on to it, but is getting defensive. This is doing the front two, the front pair, a great deal of favours here. Chris Smiley and Ken Brewster, of course, out front, but Tim Slay still trying to get third position back. Back to the lead as we go. Kenny Brewster still there. Chris Smiley looking very much assured, the ex-karting star. I think I met him for the first time about 5 or 6 years ago, racing in what's now known as Formula Kart Stars. And while he's made the transition to circuit racing absolutely superbly, as of course many youngsters have done before him, and many more will continue to do so. And he is challenging for the lead as they turn in at that first corner at the hairpin. Now it's all going off behind them because Adam Leach is still there, but this is the battle for third, fourth, fifth and sixth position, and all four cars very much together. Waved yellows at the end of the pit straight. Down behind them it's Steve Brewster, who's come through from 12th on the grid into 7th position.
Hi there, I'm Tom Natchu, and this is Greg Kramer. We're called the old bastards of racing in many circles. You know, I guess we met back in the late 1980s.
Easy. It had to be at least that far back. Glory day of some racing, too.
Oh, absolutely. Trans Am was a part of the picture, and actually I learned to do pro announcing from this man around the Trans Am Championship. Oh, that is a long time ago.
A very long time ago, but I'll tell you what, you take a look at Trans Am racing in the early 90s in particular, the names that were running at that time. But the other side of the story was World Challenge was really starting to come alive at that point. And the names in that, there were sometimes you'd look at the two rosters and go, you know, I'm not sure which one is the most talent. Some amazing stuff from those decades past, and of course a lot of those drivers also doubling up, running amateur racing in the runoffs, and it was spectacular stuff.
Now GoRacingTV has got all of that action, Trans Am World Challenge, and even some runoff material, all coming up over the next season. That's going to be something to watch.
I know, to be able to relive those 2 decades of motorsports from the Sports Car Club of America's Pro Racing Department, Trans Am World Challenge, and then you include the National Amateur Championships, the runoff, the intense battles that unfolded there. It simply doesn't get any better than that, and it lives again right here on GoRacingTV.com.
Because I need to spend more time in front of my computer.
Chris Smiley down for the lead. Chris Smiley down on the inside line. Great piece of driving from the man from Carrickfergus, who goes through on the run down into the hairpin. Great bit of braking. Look how cool, calm and collected he looks in the driving seat. And now he's got he knows he won't be put under too much pressure in the yellow flag zone. But having said that, Ken Brewster looks like he's still harrying him in second place. Tim Slay third, Des David Slay in the number 3 car in 4th place, followed by Adam Leach, and having an absolute cracker of a race is Hamish Brandon down behind them. Following Hamish is Stephen Brewster, and Brewster trying to get on the case of him. Brewster is closing in. This is absolutely superb stuff once again. It doesn't matter whether you put these cars out at Knockhill Circuit, Cadwell Park where we've had an away round, or here at Kirkiston. Let's hope we can have a return visit next year, because everybody loves this place, and we've seen some cracking racing. I don't think the 3 guys who have had the non-finish will be overly chuffed about it, but I'm sure they'll put that down to experience. Vic, of course, Havoc Covey, as we mentioned, has won here before. Well, things now beginning to settle down a little bit, and looking good for Chris Smiley, who has also passed his fastest lap. And whether Adam Leach is going to be able to better that as he did in race 1 remains to be seen. But Chris Smiley in the 22 car, the race leader, as we go back and look at David Slade coming under pressure from Adam Leach, who takes a wide line there. Hamish Brandon coming out of the hairpin challenging for 5th position, but there is Chris Smiley, and behind him Kenny Brewster. He's not going to be shaken off. Ken Brewster in green. Is he going to have a go? I thought he was going to come offline. Have a look as they went down into the right hand first segment of Colonial, now into the left hander. You can see that Smiley is definitely under pressure, and the Brewsters really looking pretty handy, I've got to say, and they'll be looking forward to the return to Knock Hill, where they can perhaps expect to challenge the front runners once again. So Smiley and Brewster giving us an absolutely superb scrap here. Kenny Brewster 5th in race 1, Chris Smiley with 1 win under his belt so far, and I think if he'd looked in his mirrors earlier on, he probably wouldn't have expected Kenny Brewster to be challenging for the lead. But Brewster it is as they come down the back straight. Away in the distance, still in 3rd place, is Tim Slay, followed by his brother David. And David Slay looking up the inside in red, the orangey red car with the black stripes, looking as if he was going to come offline and make a manoeuvre. But we go back to Chris Smiley, whose pitboard tells him there are 3 laps to go. Still got that incident being attended to there on the outside of the circuit, so no overtaking on that particular part of the track. But as we've seen, passing is possible on the rest of the circuit, and the top 2 really streaking away from the rest of the field. Kenny Brewster in 2nd position chases Chris Smiley. So Ken Brewster in the 29 car, sharing the car this year, of course, and great to see him back in the championship. And throws the car in, loses a wee bit of ground there to Chris Smiley, who continues to get away. So Smiley looking to make it 2 out of 2 this weekend and add another win to his race tally. This is the view from our camera at the hairpin. Now we can see there that Tim Slay still hanging on to 3rd place. Fair way back on these 2 leaders. Smiley takes the line that he wants. Here comes the battle for 3rd position. David Slade a little bit too far back. Adam Leach in 5th. Hamish Brandon still in 6th place, followed by Steve Brewster. Now just working out the timings, you can see Hamish Brandon's lap board going out, saying there are 2 laps remaining here at Kirkiston. Is he going to be able to deal with Adam Leach, who is in front of him? Adam Leach in turn is chasing David Slay, the orange car going into the chicane now, and we'll see whether that is going to change at all. But some good healthy points being scored here, and David Slay is going to be rubbing his hands together at the moment, the man running in 4th place, because this is going to be a fairly comfortable championship lead, comfortable in mini terms at least, as they head back to Knock Hill for round 14 in a few weeks' time. 24 races comprise the season for the Celtic Speed Scottish Mini Cooper Cup, so there's still time for Vic Covey to claw things back. And I guess you'd say the law of averages would say that perhaps David Slay will get a DNF before the end of the year too. Tim Slay hasn't had any DNFs, of course. He's 3rd in the championship. Chris Smiley's had a DNF and a exclusion from round 7 of the championship. Cars on their last lap, and it's Chris Smiley. Well, no such problems for him this weekend. All clean stuff from him. But look at Kenny Brewster putting the pressure on as they go down into Colonial for the last time. Half a car's length between the 2. Through the left-hander at Colonial. Now down towards Fisherman's, the right-hander for the last time. And it does look like Chris Smiley's done all the hard work so far. He's got a couple of lengths between himself and Kenny Brewster in 2nd position. It's still Tim Slay running in 3rd, and we can't see them. They've been dropped by the lead pair. This has been a superb performance by both of these drivers. Chris Smiley is going to make it 2nd in qualifying. Race win in race 1. He's got the fastest lap in this one too, and it looks like he's going to take the win as they head down towards the hairpin for the last time. Here they come then, down the back straight for the final time. And Chris Smiley, this is going to put him up to 3rd in the championship by my reckoning. So Smiley with 2 superb races for him this weekend. Very neat, very tidy, but look at Kenny Brewster taking the battle to him, to the checkered flag. There is the checker. Smiley takes the win. A superb second position for Kenny Brewster. Here we go at the line. Smiley wins it. Brewster in second position. Third place across the line is going to go to Tim Slay. Tim Slay third across the line from David, then Adam Leach. Hamish Brandon in 6th place from 7th position. The yellow machine of Stephen Brewster, but after the race, time penalties were added to Tim Slay and Adam Leach, so the classified result looks like this. Smiley the winner from Ken Brewster, David Slay third, Hamish Brandon takes 4th, with Steve Brewster in 5th position, and Tim Slay relegated to 6th, Adam Leach down to 7th, ahead of Fiona Wallace and Emma Bruce, who complete the finishers. Here are the movers and shakers in the championship points. David Slay now the leader, 14 points clear of Vic Covey Jr. with Chris Smiley up to 3rd, Tim Slay 4th, Adam Leach up into 5th, and Hamish Brandon now in the top 6. Tim Slay leads the newcomers from Adam Leach, Kyle Reid in 3rd, Michael Faulkner up to 4th from Murray Muir, and Steve Clark still in 6th place. In the Ladies' Cup, Fiona Wallace still top of the stack, but Emma Bruce goes ahead of Elaine Marshall into 2nd position. Louise Flitton, Steph McMurdo and Gemma Dreelan completing the top 6.
Chris, congratulations, what a fantastic weekend for you.
Yeah, well, we won the first race this morning, and I came in here, weighed the car and I came out, and I pulled ball number 8 out, so that means we started 8th, so all the quick guys were at the front and we were at the back. But coming into the first corner, there was a bit of a tussle down the back down there, and I was in 3rd, and I got my way up through, and I worked with I forget his name. We worked with him, worked the whole way up through, and he didn't defend or anything, so we got a good of a gap, so we could battle at the end. So hopefully, or thankfully, we didn't. There wasn't 5 cars instead of 2 battling for the lead. So
you must have thought for a second there, because he tried to move going to the first corner, didn't he, on about the last lap?
He did, Ivan. He just wasn't close enough. I was able to get. He would be quicker than 2 straights, and I got it just out of the 2 chicanes. So. Thank goodness we got a bit of a result. We've had enough bad luck anyway.
Well, congratulations, a fantastic points haul towards your championship as well.
Yeah, well, we've come away here with 42 points today, and I got 44 if I got the fastest lap in the last race. I don't know how I've done, so hopefully we've done that, so to get a few more points.
Well, congratulations anyway. Looking forward to your next run at Knockhill.
Oh, I can't wait.
Thank you. Well done. Kenny, fantastic result for the end of your weekend there. Congratulations on your 2nd place.
Thanks very much. Yeah, absolutely delighted. Just kind of worked out for us that way today. So we just got a good start, got into first by I think about the first proper corner, and me and Chris just managed to open a bit of a gap. And in fairness, it worked out really well. We didn't have a go at each other. We tried to just get a bit of a pace and a gap. We got that, and he made a move. And I'm not here to muck up anyone's championship, so I mean I'm quite happy for him to go, and a 2nd place is brilliant for me. So
I did see you working together. It did look like that. Yeah, I thought you were going to get him at the end there.
Yeah, I kind of thought it, and to be honest, I kind of lost count of the amount of laps left. So, yeah, I was just trying to tail him, and as I say, 2nd place does me absolutely fine. So quite happy with that.
I saw you trying to pull a move right at the was it last lap in the first corner?
Yeah, a few times. I think it was yellow flags at the top and a bit of a big accident, unfortunately, with a few of the guys. So I hope they're all alright. But I think Chris was backing off a wee bit, and it kind of allowed me just every time through the yellows just to get quite close. But I mean, it's not worth risking anything, especially when you're double points, that sort of thing. So keeping everyone's good books and a 2nd place will do me happy. So yeah, it's fine.
Well, it'll be a happy trip back home.
Yeah, thanks very much. You too.
Thank you. Fiona, just wanted to grab a word there. Just finished race 2. What's your thought on Kirkiston?
It's a great circuit. It's fast. You've got to be really aggressive to get a good lap time.
You enjoyed it though?
It's been really good fun. Definitely want to come back here.
And looking forward to the next round at Knockhill?
Yeah, can't wait. Hopefully I can get a little bit quicker and get further up the field. That's what I'm aiming for.
It's looking good for the Ladies' Cup though, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So fingers crossed I have no more DNFs and I can just toddle along and win, hopefully.
Toddle along and win. I think that's the quote of the week.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's the cars just been finally scrutineered at the end of a fantastic day's racing here at Kirkistown in Ireland. Particularly so for local boy Chris Smiley. What an awesome result for him, a huge points haul there. And you'll also be pleased to know that all of the drivers involved in that accident are absolutely fine, and they will be joining us back again at Knockhill for more action. Make sure you do the same. See you soon.